huge great white shark leaping into the air just meters from where they were standing. It's an extremely rare sight.
Biggest great white shark ever caught on camera, and it's as terrifying as it is awe-inspiring.
One of the most exciting experiences I've ever had in the water.
Well, a fishing guide comes face to face with a massive hammerhead shark.
He just took it out of my hand!
I just kind of froze for a second, like, what is that? And my first thought, because it was so big, was, oh, shark!
Be it marine animals on the surface or underwater,
Look at that.
both the kind are impulsive and menacing. Especially those that have not ever been seen or heard of. If you stick around long enough, you will get to see some of the most unexpected recorded encounters of the vast oceans and seas. Fishing isn't just about enduring long waits. Sometimes unexpected challenges arise. Take, for instance, a fisherman who, after having dedicated several hours, thought his efforts pay off after having landed this massive tuna. A giant great white shark made a last-minute visit, only to have it snatched away in an instant. Having to be fishing in the shark's domain, he was helpless to do anything. Perhaps the shark was using this very moment to make a much easier catch, and at the same time, teach the man a proper lesson. Flipped by shark. It's not just the overwhelming size of the prize, but also the hot underwater pursuit that was under the stake here. A fishing clip from July 2015 showed the moment where an angler in Florida water hooked a Goliath grouper and was struggling to reel it out. The very shark that was also in pursuit for the grouper flipped the kayaker, who let go of the catch to avoid risking himself and becoming its lunch. He immediately swam to a nearby boat for safety. Seems like it wasn't just this guy's mother that opposed him from kayaking this day. Shark Feast Fest. If this continues, fishing from the seafood department might be a better option. On March 1st, 2023, during a routine expedition off the coast of Venice, Louisiana, fishermen searching for yellowfin tuna encountered a massive shiver of sharks. The sharks, engaged in a frenzied feeding spree, surrounded their boat and snatched away any chance of catching tuna. With jaws snapping and fins thrashing, the chaotic scene left the fishermen drenched in salty water, their luck swallowed up by the ravenous predators. Mega Great White. A team of researchers that were tasked to study apex predator presence in the waters of Guadalupe Island were left speechless. Teamed up with divers, they set up a large bait a couple meters underwater, with traces of blood to get shark attention. In doing so, they were captivated by the appearance of not one, but two massive great white sharks, spanning to over 20 feet in length. A team that was secured in a viewing cage underwater, along with the one on the surface, both managed to capture it in action, while moving the bait all around. The mere presence of a great white shark this huge revalidates the fear of deep dark water. Leg-pulling whale shark. Of all the underwater giants, a whale shark is probably the only kind of shark that's known to be quite peaceful. A boatload of tourists that were enjoying a boating trip off the coast of Baru, Indonesia, where their paths crossed with an adult male shark. One of the tourists thought it would be a good idea to pose for pictures. In a bid to signal the tourists defeat it, the whale shark playfully tries to swallow the snorkeler, leaving him in panic and instantly regretting his selfie pose. However, the gentle giant got distracted by the feeding soon after. Queen of Ocean. It's not just the size or weight of this shark that gives it this name, but the fact that it is topmost on the great white family tree. On October 20th, 2020, a team of researchers and scientists from the O-Search group had this 50-year-old, 3,500-pound great white shark off the coast of Nova Scotia. In order to help the shark species thrive, and also to keep the marine life ecosystem in check, they test this shark named Nukumi to get clues on its behavior and breeding patterns. Not to mention all the battle scars. After having it tagged and blood samples taken, it was released back into the water. Stealing Hammerhead.
He just took it out of my hands.
This shark not only stole the catch, but also the spotlight in an unexpected turn of events. Captured on dramatic footage in August 2019, a fishing guide found himself face to face with a colossal hammerhead shark near Anna Maria Island. As the captain of a fishing charter posed with a prized tarpon for a photo, the scene took a thrilling twist. The tarpon was suddenly snatched from his grasp by the hungry shark. The captain tried to remove the hook from the fish, but the hammerhead swiftly dragged the tarpon down into the depths of the ocean. Spooky-mouthed shark. If you thought sharks were spooky, wait till you come across this one. A small team of recreational divers that were rooting to film a great white shark, which they didn't find any and were completely surprised to find this instead. This large whitish shark had a mouth much larger than usual that was covered with gigantic lips. Now, despite this apex predator not displaying any sinister vibes, its terrifying look and massive size was enough to give it just the right stature. Landing on boat. Among the many risks of sailing, the probability of being struck by a surfacing whale is low, but never zero. In Cape Cod Bay, Massachusetts, two fishermen were enjoying a fantastic day, angling for striped bass, when whales unexpectedly surfaced nearby. Boaters' excitement screams drew attention to the spectacle, which had been hundreds of yards away. After their final catch, the crew decided to grab a bite. As they idly sailed, whales suddenly emerged, catching everyone off guard, though one of the onboard cameras was still recording. Fortunately, despite the surprise, both fishermen emerged unharmed, with only minor damage to their boats, making this fishing expedition an unforgettable and thrilling maritime experience. Unexpected plot twist. The idea of taking a safari tour might initially seem to be a better idea until you get to see the unexpected. A large group of tourists that were on a sightseeing tour soon gave an adrenaline rush when a juvenile humpback whale came out breaching very close to the boat. As a result, it soaked the boat in water with the whale that was putting on a show. For the tour guide's sake, the whale made sure this wasn't just another boring trip, as after all, they never saw it coming. Turtle couple's sweet revenge. With sharks being the #1 safety concern of the turtles, this turtle couple seems to have a taste of vengeance. A tourist that was on a diving tour in Hawaii got to witness and also document a very rare moment, showing two turtles that were anxiously gripping the head of a shark and trying to feed on it. They dragged the shark head while attempting to bite off pieces for several minutes before the filming. Now, this is definitely something you don't get to see quite often. Whale ride.
Cut it! Cut it!
If Tarzan had an aquatic counterpart, it would be this guy. While boating off the coast of California, you notice a distressed humpback whale entangled in a fishing line. After hours of attempting to free the whale from the boat, the rescuer decided to take a daring leap onto the whale's back to cut the rope. Despite the whale's diving and thrashing, he eventually succeeded, riding the whale at one point during the effort. His courageous actions and unique connection with the whale earned him the title of a real-life whale whisperer. Stranded sawfish. A vacation to the beaches brought forward a rather tricky rescue mission for this man when he came across an enormous sawfish stranded on the sand. He carefully grabbed the tail part of the majestic animal and tried to bring it back in the water. But he had to make sure that the pointy edge stayed away for safety reasons. After struggling for a while and keeping his own safety on the line, he managed to bring the sawfish back in the water, and it made its way to the ocean. Rare large prehistoric shark. The only thing that's certainly known just by the look of its jaws is that it is a gigantic shark. Beachgoers on an Australian beach found this giant shark carcass that was washed ashore. Both the size and color of the shark left them wondering of its actual nature. Rumor has it that this shark was measured to be around 55 feet, which makes it a possibility that this was a megalodon that has been measured to be around 60 feet in length. Battle with aggressive shark. While sightseeing seals off the north coast of Tasmania, our 5.7-meter boat was rammed by a 3.5 to 4-meter great white shark. The bite damaged the front with its bite and flipped its tail out of the water. Before inhabitants made an escape attempt unscathed and headed for land. As the fishermen got the news, they went back looking for it, and after a brief struggle managed to catch it on bait and using a spear to capture it. Realizing the shark was too heavy to pull out, the effort was eventually abandoned. Both incidents show risks of treading into a shark's territory. After all, it prioritizes its territory over the seals. Rare shark appearance. Having to explore new areas tends to reveal a lot of mysteries that otherwise would never have thought to exist. A team of ocean engineers and National Geographic explorers that were surveying an underwater volcano, Cavachi, located near the Solomon Islands. The place was a pocket of surprising amounts of sea life that they encountered, with a very rare Pacific sleeper shark being one of them. Apart from their actual purpose of the visit, the team took some high-definition images and video of this elusive shark, which may be the best video ever made. Snatching squid. A few hundred years ago, this might have been the scariest sea story your grandmother could tell. In June 2017, a surfer from Cape Town, South Africa, captured footage of a giant squid wrapping its tentacles around his surfboard. The squid gripped the board so tightly that the surfer lost his balance and fell into the water. The situation could have been much worse if the squid had wrapped its slimy tentacles around the surfer himself. Squids are known to surface when desperately hunting for prey or during their final days. Visit of unknown nature. Knowing the fact that orcas can sometimes be as aggressive as they are playful, their wild intentions can't be predicted. On September 12, 2018, a small crew of fishermen were returning after a long day of fish changing off the coast of Oceanside, California, when a pod of orcas matched this speed and started moving along with them. Though the encounter looks to be playful, you never know, as orcas are known to have bitten rudders and even sunk similar-sized boats before. After all, their mood definitely could turn with the taste of fish. Behemoth swordfish. Catching a gigantic swordfish, given their speed and razor-sharp snouts, is certainly a remarkable achievement. In September 2022, fishermen off the coast of North Carolina landed a 4-meter-long, 504-pound swordfish near Beaufort Inlet. According to state records, it is the largest swordfish ever caught in the area. These fishermen were undoubtedly fortunate to have this elusive fish take their lure. One can only imagine the challenge they faced in reeling in such a massive and intimidating catch.
Holy shit.
Bitten off survivor. Being larger than your average fish, this sunfish survived the impossible despite having lost large chunks of its body parts. A TikTok user shared one of his finds of a large sunfish that had large bite marks all over its body while he was fishing along with his buddies. These bite marks are consistent along with the usual fate that these fishes suffer from great white and tiger sharks. This one was traumatized, even though it survived the brutal encounter. With both physical injuries and trauma, it probably won't get to live much longer. Watching back whale. Either its personal space was violated, or just that it also wanted to remind them that they too are being watched. Footage from October 6, 2022 shows a humpback whale that kept on surfacing to check out the whale watching boat in Monterey, California. The whale spent over 40 minutes casually hanging around the boat in sheer curiosity while maintaining a safe distance. Interestingly, the same whale is believed to have taken a glimpse of every other boat as well on its way back. These magnificent mammals are so huge that they could easily flip any average-sized boat. Fishing swimming fortune. As much of a delicacy that bluefin tuna meat is known to be, finding and capturing them is like making an instant fortune. A team of young anglers led by a very seasoned bluefin tuna catcher set out to waters of Ireland in search of a large catch. After having picked the perfect spot and bait setup, they managed to hook and pull out a 350-pound tuna that landed on their deck in a span of just a couple of hours. Tuna meat, depending on the age and quality, the worth of tuna meat can be from $40 to $200 per pound. Leaping Loch Ness.
Oh my god!
Surely discovering the actual existence of a Loch Ness monster that anyone would expect to see until they do. A boater from Oman who was out on a casual boating trip in the open seas where he caught a moment on camera when a large yet unfamiliar being could be seen jumping in and out of the water. It had a tail like a mammal, huge turtle-like limbs on the sides, and a really long but narrow neck. Interestingly, marine biologists were also able to find and present the bony remains of a juvenile Loch Ness creature. Organized crime. Unlike the sharks, orcas know exactly how to get back at humans. This pod proved itself. On May 15, 2024, the crew and passengers on board a 50-foot yacht were on a sailing trip a few miles from the Strait of Gibraltar in Moroccan waters until they had to make a distress call for help. They had a run-in with a pod of orca that damaged the rudder and gradually the boat as well that started taking on water. While the Coast Guard were able to rescue them, the boat, however, sank. It is believed that the same pod has sunk at least 5 other boats since 2020. Coastline creature. Perhaps dinosaurs haven't gone extinct as the mainstream notion follows. In January 2023, a giant unidentifiable creature was spotted off the coast of North Carolina. Daniel Griffey, who recorded the footage, reported that the creature closely resembled a dinosaur. As the video went viral, speculation arose, with some suggesting it was the legendary Loch Ness monster from Scottish folklore, while others thought it might be a giant crocodile. However, wildlife expert Ron McGill from Miami Zoo suggested it was most likely a whale surfacing. To date, the creature's true identity remains unknown. Decaying mermaid carcass. The existence of mermaids is called too good to be true, just as what's said about dinosaur extinction. Fishermen and beachgoers jumped in out of curiosity to investigate after a fast-decaying carcass of a mermaid was found on Sarago Island in the Philippines. Since the creature had part resemblance to humans and part to that of a fish, it is believed to be an actual mermaid. Using basic hardware tools, they tried to examine and identify the nature of the corpse that wasn't just decaying, but also had severe burn injuries all over. Finger of death. When the temperatures drop massively, the only thing that takes is this finger of death to freeze everything in its path. On November 24, 2011, researchers released time-lapse footage showing the formation of a Brinicle, or finger of death, on the ocean floor. This underwater icicle forms when warm water begins freezing at sub-zero temperatures, causing brine to sink and create a hollow, tube-like ice structure that grows downward, encasing a plume of descending brine. As seawater freezes in polar oceans, concentrated salt brine is expelled, creating a dense, extremely cold, and saline flow. When the Brinicle reached the seabed, it formed a web of ice, freezing everything it touched, including sea urchins and starfish. Bathing dragon. This video, captured on August 23, 2022, shows what appears to be a real-life dragon caught on camera while it was bathing in Vietnam. The boater, after noticing the giant dragon breaching from the water, hid in his boat while continuing to record. In Vietnamese culture, dragons have been worshipped for their power and benevolence, making this an awe-inspiring and speechless moment. These mythical creatures symbolize prosperity and are deeply woven into Vietnamese art, literature, and religious rituals. According to the sources, it stayed on the surface only a couple of minutes after being spotted until it dipped and eventually disappeared. Marine swarm. Just when everyone thought of this to be a shallow beachwater invasion and got out until things revealed themselves, this video was captured on September 4, 2012 at a beach in Fort Lauderdale, where the appearance of a large dark entity left bystanders in fear and concern. Moments earlier, a man with a fishing rod had claimed to have hooked something huge. As it approached the shore, it became clear that a large pod of mullets had been caught during the annual mullet run, making the possibility of a significant catch tantalizingly close. Mysterious, sturdy remains. There is no way this could be anything like a whale just by seeing its rock skin. On July 25, 2014, the Iranian Navy released a video showing a gigantic, mysterious carcass floating in the water off the coast of Bashur in western Iran on the Persian Gulf. The thick, blackened skin led marine biologists to believe it was the remains of a very large crocodile. However, locals speculated it resembled a prehistoric marine giant from the dinosaur era. The true nature of the carcass was never investigated and remains a mystery. Rare interspecies interaction. Seeing it, most would call it to be friendship goals, where realistically it seems more like food chain goals. Back in 2003, in Nootka Sound, there's this wild story about Luna the orca having a chat with a dog on a boat. Seriously, a dog and an orca sharing a moment. The terrified dog barked non-stop, while Luna the chill orca seemed to enjoy the unexpected hangout. It felt like a scene straight out of a movie. So unbelievable that you'd need to see it to believe it. A dog and an orca just interacting in the water. Nature sure knows how to throw a curveball, even in the deep blue sea of Nuka Sound. Marine berry creatures. Of all the weirdest marine animals that you may have seen, this one by far would be the weirdest one. A random Facebook upload that was made on April 17, 2019 that kept on going viral with a bizarre kind of fish that was filmed in the hand of the source. It looked very much like their faces looked like berries of some sort of jelly-like body tissue, while it also had fins and a tail, similar to that of a regular fish. The name of these species is not known. However, if you do happen to know, share with us down in the comments. Ogopogo of Canada. For centuries, the mythical giant snake-like beast known as Ogopogo was believed to reside in Okanagan Lake. Its existence was often doubted, thought to just be an ancient legend that claimed the creature surfaced once a year. However, in January 2019, footage of Ogopogo went viral. Many mistake this beast for a giant oarfish due to their resemblance. But oarfish don't live in lakes or any freshwater habitats. This prehistoric dweller is known by many names around the world, such as the Chinese Dragon King. Though it has never been known to attack or eat humans, its presence remains undeniably menacing. Fishing anaconda. Fishing for an anaconda sounds crazy, right? But watch this. A wildlife explorer, along with some local companions, set up a trap using a fishing net baited to entangle an anaconda. When they sensed movement in the net, the group approached, and the explorer immediately restrained the large reptile by its mouth with his bare hands to avoid any risk. After closely examining the anaconda and considering the safety of his companions, the explorer decided to release it much further away from the nearest village rather than putting it down. Mysterious mass. During a fishing expedition in the remote waters of Talabo Island, fishermen made an intriguing discovery unlike anything they had seen before. They spotted a bizarre white foamy mass floating near their boat, and when one of the men cut into it, they found it surprisingly stiff. The question remained, what was it, and how did it end up there? It appeared to be the remnants of a whale's upset stomach whale vomit. Crazy, right? Well, it might sound unbelievable to you, but for these fishermen, it was just another day on the water. Ambush predator surprise. The strength of all these men combined was nothing when it came to getting a hold of an 18-foot-long crocodile. Even after getting wrapped up in ropes, this big guy was giving them all quite some tough time to bring it on land. One wrong move from them, and it would give the croc the perfect chance to leave with a good meal. Even after using the ultimate move of death roll, the reptile was finally out of the water, and the team had succeeded in getting their hands on one of the biggest catches of their times. They measured this impressive beast and eventually left it back in the murky waters where it belonged. Troubled anaconda. Anacondas are one of the biggest snakes on the planet, but some prey can become too big to handle for them too. These cops come across a bloated anaconda that was even stuck in the bushes. Just look at that bulge in its body. It had to be one gigantic meal. Using a spade, the cop managed to free this reptile that swam away to digest its meal in peace. But that was not all. Even a fisherman found an anaconda in similar conditions and instantly regretted going out to the rivers. No wonder they can chomp on anything. Rare Humboldt squid. If Cthulhu was ever real, I'm pretty sure Humboldt squids are the very last living relatives of the beast. Their beak is the true menace for all its predators and anyone that tries to mess around with a squid. Jeremy managed to get his hands on the impressive ocean dweller and closely examined its anatomy. From its ink ejector to those creepy tentacles, these creatures are a true sight to behold. The one he's holding here now can grow twice as long as that, and weigh more than 8 times. No wonder they are called the Red Devils, because of their rapid movements and true predatory nature. American eel.
It's an American eel. And if you've never seen one...
While strolling on a Mustang Island, Texas, this researcher found a rather interesting creature washed ashore. He excitedly picked up the American eel, measuring 4 foot long, and this was one of the biggest ones he had seen so far. The researcher started looking closely into his find and even mentioned that these majestic creatures are considered endangered on mass level due to dam building. Finding such a specimen is more of a reminder to take care of the animals on our planet. Stingray giant. On March 31, 2015, a woman and her husband captured a gigantic stingray lurking in the shallow waters of a beach in South Australia. Using an average fishing rod with an Australian salmon rigged as bait, they hooked the massive stingray as it took the bait. Onlookers assisted in reeling in the enormous catch. After an hour and a half of struggle, they managed to pull the stingray onto the beach, estimating its weight to be over 150 kilograms. Due to the mating season, the stingray was later released back into the ocean. Marine mystery. A visit to the Brinicle Lake in Chile took an unexpected turn when the man noticed a rather strange animal roaming in the water. And this thing looked like a dinosaur. I know dinos have been extinct for millions of years, but hear me out. The Brinicle Lake is 650 feet deep, and the climate of this area is not suitable to host any seals, crocodiles, or alligators. So what could this thing be? There have been rumors about governments bringing back dinosaurs, and many believe that the creature captured here was one of them who escaped the facilities. Large pinniped. This sea lion was completely done with getting hunted by the sharks, so it decided to turn the tables and take on the role of a predator. The dramatic scene was captured by visitors on a Californian beach, and they simply could not believe that they were looking at a whole different side of wildlife. But it's not just the sharks, they're not afraid of humans too. One giant sea lion was recorded minding its business and carelessly diving in the ocean. They will be taking over the world with an attitude like that. Open discussion. In case you're planning a trip to the beach, here's something to change your mind. This man had come to the shores for a calming experience when he spotted this massive shark strolling in the shallow waters. But it was not there for hunting people. It was simply stuck due to a critical situation. Unlike what most people would do, this guy decided to run towards the giant. But by the looks of it, it seemed like it was gonna do fine. Great white sharks can grow to impressive sizes, and here's a video that shows one in comparison to a huge boat. Their pointy teeth and deadly reputation has earned them quite a fearful personality, but even they can need help sometimes. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like the video and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.